Hello, my bump, bruised, and blessed family. For those of you that are current subscribers, thanks for sticking with me on this journey. I'm sorry you know this nightmare. We are all in this together. For new viewers, welcome to the family. I'm thrilled to have you here. I am also sorry that you know this nightmare. My name is Michelle. I grew up in a dysfunctional, narcissistic home with the primary narcissist being my mother, the enabler as my father. I had a golden boy, flying monkey, older brother, and then there's me, the scapegoat, tried and true black sheep. All my life, I initiated no contact with the toxic duo, as I like to refer to them, in August of 2019. So, going strong. Loving it. This topic I'm talking about today, I've been dying to get into this. Ryan, you requested this. Anger, hostility, and resentment towards these awful losers that abused you. You know, this is such a great topic because it is so valid. Like, it feels so strange. It's so awkward having these contentious, terrible feelings towards your own parents. But you know what, man? They did this. They deserve it. They treated us like garbage, and our feelings, our response is entirely legitimate, valid, and warranted. So, oh my goodness. I don't even know where to start. This is such a great topic. So, I began this journey in in the beginning of 2019, right? I have my master's degree in psychology. And do you know we went over narcissism briefly in school, but back in the early 2000s, narcissistic abuse was not even on the radar. So we've come a long way since then. Thank God. But it wasn't until I saw a YouTube video that I was like, oh my God, like everything fits together. This is exactly what I'm dealing with. So prior to that confirmation, that validation, I never had a bond, we'll say, or a strong connection to my family of origin. It was always so painfully awkward, and like there's just no, like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm trying to articulate it, but it's like it's difficult to kind of express this. It's like you're so removed. It's strange. It's like they're supposed to be family, so you're trying to like force these feelings, but they're not there. There's no inherent love or connection there. So my entire life I felt like separate from these people. And then when I finally learned like what was going on, the narcissistic abuse, I was like, oh my God, I'm not crazy. Thank God. Like, so by the way, BT dub, that's why I do this, you guys. Like, no one should have to navigate this alone. So I was kind of trudging along when I started this endeavor, but oh my goodness, I love you guys so much. We are legit, I sincerely feel like we're family. Anyway, I digress. Anger, hostility, and resentment, strong. Very strong. Like, when I put all the pieces together and I was like, holy cow, this is what I'm dealing with. So, yeah, I was like, you see in my video progression, I guess, like, I was really feeling these things initially. As well, we all should. Man, these people deserve it. If they wanted things to be different, they should have been better people, right? But they're not. They treated us horribly. They were sabotaging us, stabbing us in the back. And in their twisted, deluded minds, you guys, they probably believe that they love us. Their definition of love is so convoluted, distorted, delusional, crazy. their view of love is using people. Like, what can you do for me? So no doubt, as their children, that's 1,000% how they see us. Like, we should be serving them in some way, that we owe them, you know. But definitely you have to feel it to heal it. I've said that before. So yeah, these people are jerks, man. Like, if you have anger, resentment, hostility towards your parents, feel it. Feel it. Like, they deserve it. They're pieces of garbage. And they treated you horribly. Horribly. Inexcusably. So, I'm happy to report that as I have, you know, I can't say this without, in the beginning, I tried to maintain contact. You know, I was like, I don't know where this is going to go. I was like, let me try the gray rock low contact thing. Did not work because my loser, egocentric, narcissistic mother was so spoiled with me as primary supply, me and my awesome family, my husband and our kids, that she couldn't take it, man. She can't take not getting her way. She was an only child, and the enabler just bows down to her, does whatever she wants, whenever she wants. You know, she's like the queen bee, head honcho. So when I started pulling away, she didn't like that. There's such a thing as, there's an ignoring narcissistic parent, there's an engulfing narcissistic parent. So the ignoring narcissistic parent will just be like, you know, your existence doesn't matter to me. Like, you're negligible. And they intentionally trivialize you. They'll treat you like you don't matter, like you're irrelevant, and your presence in their life is like they could take it or leave it. That's ignoring narcissistic parents. Then there's the engulfing narcissistic parent, and they will just consume your life. They'll involve themselves in everything you do, and they'll just be smothering, essentially. I have to tell you that my narcissistic mother was not like that. She wanted to just come and go as she pleased. So she's kind of like a hybrid of these things. You know, she wants to cherry pick, like, when she wants to siphon or suck off of our happiness or grief or whatever, our supply. When she wants to exploit it for herself, oh, she was there front and center. But, you know, whenever we needed her, God forbid, nowhere to be found. Like, she can't be bothered. She's too busy living her life, you know? So when I was starting to navigate this, I did engage with them. I was going back and forth before I realized that these people are so severely mentally disordered. There's absolutely no sense in that whatsoever. They're not rational on any level. They have this impenetrable defensive force around them. They will never take accountability. They'll never self-reflect. They will never evolve or anything of that nature because they're too far up their own butts with this fake story that they tell themselves about how awesome they are. And, you know, it's all a big farce. But they are beyond repair. So in the beginning, I just could not conceive of this. So I did engage with them. I was going back and forth, and like, once I finally and I always say this as well, if you're navigating this path and you don't know what to do whatever you need to do to walk away knowing that you tried everything. You know, that I used that same mentality with the narc ex. I was like, I'm just going to give and be honest with all my heart and try to salvage this. And if it doesn't work, you know, I walk away knowing that I did all I could do. So I had that same mentality when it came to the toxic duo. So we exchanged a couple of emails initially, And I mean, shoot, that was the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020. And then I finally was like, you know what? Stop this insanity. Definition of insanity. Repeating the same behavior over and over and expecting a different outcome or result. Yeah, no, that's not us. That's narcs 1,000% through and through. They'll just keep doing what they want to do and expecting us to comply, bow down to them, whatever. So, I'm sorry, I'm still kind of like getting over my extended sickness for the end of last year. So, okay, so I did engage with them back and forth a few times, but I'll tell you what, and then it was like every time they were like coming at me, which is what they do, that narcissistic rage. They get so angry and like frustrated that they're not getting their way. They're like children throwing tantrums. So the more they came at me, and the nastily, the smear campaign will absolutely and definitely ensue, where they're just making you out to be the villain because they're always the victims. They have to maintain that narrative in order to keep their narrative going, their facade. So, yeah, they will slander the heck out of you. I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what? Let them say what they want, dude. Like, anybody that knows anything about me knows that it couldn't be farther from the truth. Like, the things that they try to say, the lies they try to spread about me, it's so off base, it just reaffirms. These people have no idea who I am. They never took the time to get to know me, to respect me, to appreciate me. So it just reaffirmed that I was doing the right thing with cutting contact, which is what I inevitably did in August of 2019. If you go back in my videos, I've referenced this a few times. The narc came over here and like confronted me in my own home. Joe was at work. It was just me and the kids. I'm sitting in a wheelchair and this evil woman is like yelling at me, and just the exchange was just preposterous. It was so, I just stared at her like I was just in disbelief, I guess. That was like my moment where I finally just detached from it all. And I was like, you know what? I deserve better. If this is how it is, and I finally started to see it for what it was, like how severely like screwed up she is. And, come on, like mental health, human behavior, that's my jam. I love psychology and all things related. And I finally was like, wow, you got to see the forest through the trees. It was so close to me that I never really, I guess you don't want to admit it to yourself either, that your parents are so screwed up, they are incapable of loving you, basically, like to the full extent, the full definition of them. But I don't know. So that day I just looked at her as she went on and on. And then afterwards she like fake hugged me. I was like, this is insane. I was just in disbelief. I could not believe what was happening. Sorry, I'm trying to center this better. But, yeah, the toxic duo, like, you see my son back there? Joey passed away from brain cancer in 2013, which it's disgusting to even talk about this, but these jerk losers loved all of the attention and sympathy that was garnished from what Joe and I experienced with dealing with brain cancer with Joey and all that. So it's horrible. These people are so evil and small and awful. So all the while, all these things are accumulating. I'm seeing them for who they are. Hindsight's 2020. You look back and you're like, oh my goodness, like with the Joey experience. And there's so many times, like, I even asked the narc, I was like, my brother, the golden boy. He's married and to a very dominant female, you know, big surprise, repeating the pattern. And she loves to like exploit our loss of our beautiful son. She had nothing to do with it when we were experiencing it. She wanted nothing to do with us, didn't want to be around us or anything. But she loves like putting it all over social media and like, oh, my nephew and this, that, that. Like, it's sick. So I used to say to the narc, like, can you please tell them to like at least, because we have no contact with them. That ended like around the time Joey passed. But can you please tell her to not do this? It's so disrespectful. And it really hurts me as Joey's mother. But, you know, the narc never said anything because she's doing the same thing. Exploiting the loss of our beautiful son. I'm getting into so many things. This is the root of my own anger, hostility, and resentment towards these people. So, the good news, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get there. But the further you get away from them and the less harm they're doing to you, the better it gets. So, these predators continued to try to harass me, my husband, you know, and I have them blocked in every form. Phone, email, everything I can block, I blocked. My personal Instagram, like, because the henchman actually started trying to contact me through, like, direct messages. I let it happen, like, once or twice. I was like, oh, let's see where this goes. Maybe there's hope for him. Because, as you know, we're always holding on to hope, right? Like, maybe the henchman, maybe the enabler will, like, I don't know, have an epiphany or something and realize how awful this woman is. No. So he just kept, you know, chipping away, like, supporting the narc. And so I blocked him on that, too. And every time they would, like, send a message or something, or now they just harass my husband, and he doesn't care. He just, like, laughs about it because he knows how absurd this whole thing is. He had a wonderful mother, but his dad took off and abandoned his mom, his brother, and when Joe was just a kid. So his dad is, like, a total narcissist. Disappeared off the face of the planet. So Joe had, you know, a brief experience with that when he was younger. But, like, the toxic duo would come to our house, leave presents and stuff for the kids. And, like, you know what, man? Like, that finally, like, sparked Joe to be like, no, we're going to call the cops. Like, if you don't leave us alone, you need to respect our property, our space, and you're going to do that one way or another. If you can do it on your own, or we'll get the law involved. So that finally happened this year, actually, no, I'm sorry, it was like around Christmas. Joe left a note for them, said, don't do this. We're going to call the cops. We have video cameras all over our home. We have all the harassing, like, messages saved. So we have plenty of documentation for a restraining order. And if we need to do that, we'll do that. No problem. So that's, like, finally a sense of, like, being freed from this, like, escaping the dysfunction. Don't get me wrong, I checked out a while ago, but, like, this was, like, a wonderful development recently. So we're just praying, hoping that'll be the end of them leaving us the heck alone. So as that has happened, as that has progressed, I have to tell you, my anger, resentment, hostility is really subsiding. And the more you know, the more you grow, the more you learn, the, like, more validating and supported you feel. That's why I love our community. There's nothing like validation and support from fellow victims to be like, okay, it's not me. And the more I immersed myself in material to learn about narcissistic abuse. And these people, these predators, they're just the same. They're all the same. It's like they take notes from the same playbook. They just keep doing the same stuff. It's amazing that this pattern is applicable to like all of them. So it's nice to have the reprieve, and my anger, resentment, hostility has subsided. I have to tell you, now I'm just at the point where I'm like, all right, I do like pity these people because they're so screwed up, but it's to an extent, you know, the anger, resentment, hostility, it's still there. Like, don't get me wrong, but you know how they say you can't drink poison and expect your enemy to die. I know that's cliche, but it's an applicable concept. My health has suffered tremendously, and these people don't deserve any more brain space, they don't deserve to impact my life at all whatsoever in any way. So that's my focus. My focus is my real family, our friends that we genuinely love, you know, and that's the other thing. When you walk away from the toxicity, the dysfunction, you're definitely going to have to clean house. You're going to realize that some of the people in your life that you thought were close to you, that you thought legitimately, genuinely love, you'll start to like peel away all of the people that are taking shots at you, basically, that are capitalizing off of the mistreatment and disrespect from the narcissist. And you're going to be like, oh man, I thought I was close to this person. In reality, you weren't. You're just tolerating mistreatment and disrespect. So that's my progression. And I have to tell you that a lot of people have, you know, contacted me separately. And the prevailing theme for no contact is the longer you go, the better it gets. It's like you finally start to regain a semblance of who you are. You actually get to know yourself without constantly being hypervigilant, on the defensive, or, you know, defending your name. It's like these people all deserve each other. They're going to slander you, smear campaign you. Anyone that wants to believe it or go along with it, good, have fun with that, you know? Like, that's absurd. It's just absurd. It's preposterous. There's a pillow over my shoulder that's so weird. Anyway, yeah, I'm thrilled to tell you guys that the anger, resentment, hostility has subsided. But shoot, if you feel it, let it fly, man. These people deserve it. They're pieces of crap. And if they wanted things to be different, they should have done the work and taken the steps necessary to overcome their own issues rather than dumping them on us, which is essentially what happened. Take a breath. The anger, resentment, hostility, though, like, oh, that burns deep. I mean, how do you not feel that? Like, I just saw the Bernie Madoff series on Netflix, and at the end, this one woman was saying, you know, the people that hurt you the worst, that deceive you and betray you at the worst level, are the people that you trust and love. Yeah, these are like your parents, your beautiful, innocent child. You come into this world like, oh, it's my mom, my dad, they love me, I love them. No, that's not what's happening. We have experienced like the ultimate betrayal and deceit, and from a narcissistic partner as well. Like, these people are just stabbing you in the back, trying to drag you down to their miserable abyss. You know what? Karma. I truly do believe that the truth always finds a way to come through, and these people are stuck being themselves for the rest of their lives. How miserable do you have to be to target someone that loves you, someone that legitimately, inherently loves you like your own child? How sick do you have to be to hurt someone with a good heart that has nothing but good intentions. So feel it, heal it. I strongly suggest getting out of the line of fire. It makes it way better. Way better. Like, not dealing with these people is a dream. I love it. I was just saying to Joe last night, we're sitting on the couch watching our shows, and I was like, I can't tell you how happy I am not to deal with these people anymore. It's a big deal, like, to separate from, but in actuality, it's not that big of a deal, right? You're never close to these people. They never treated you the way family treats each other that loves each other. So separating is like, you're just doing it for yourself. Finally, for once in your life, look out for yourself, because these pieces of garbage never did. All right, this is getting long. I'm going on. I could talk about this forever, but I love you guys. Check out, let's see. I have so many links below. I have an Amazon store. I have a code for Semaine Health if you are looking to better your health in that way. What else? I have my spring store. I have merch. I am so proud of my logo. I tell you guys, trying to reach this. I made it myself. So I love this logo. I really feel like it's a badge of honor for us to, proclaim our victory over the hardships that we've encountered and overcome. So I love you guys. Please like, subscribe, share with anyone you think this would apply to. And I love and welcome your comments. I feel like that's our way of being in touch with each other, validating other victims, this awesome community. So, love you guys. I'll be back.